Hi again, everyone. This video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous, and here's her story. Hello, Ollie. First of all, I want to say that I recently discovered your channel, and I'm glad that I found it. It's a great way, it's great, and you give very good advice. I think you are massively underrated. I needed some courage to send this. I never said so much personal information in one interaction. Second, I made a donation. It's not much because I can't afford much at this moment. I would like to stay anonymous. I'm a 20-year-old girl and live in Europe. I am Eastern European and moved away to a Western European country since I was 5 years old, so English is not my first language. I apologize for the mistakes in this letter. I know that your channel is more about narcs in family, and I also have some problems, but I will write about it in another letter. I have some problems with narc friends. I recently started college, and it seemed to me like I attract these kinds of people. In high school, I made a terrible mistake of choosing this girl to be my best friend. I trusted her, and she seemed so honest. However, me and some other girls in my class got bullied by the girls of the senior year. This was all because a narc girl who ended up in a mental institution in our class lied about us to them. She portrayed herself as the victim to them. The senior girls started calling us names on the playground. The teachers, of course, did nothing. One day they turned on me. I had nothing to do with this shit. When they turned on me, I started a physical fight. I was so tired of dealing with this bullshit. I have been in many physical fights in my life, and almost always I started them. Because the teachers did nothing, and the principal, who was in charge in those 2 years, an over 50 woman, always blamed me, even though I didn't start the provocation. I just responded on my way by fighting them because words don't work. It stopped for a while, but not permanently. The second time I went to fight them in the streets so I would not get in trouble in school and get expelled. Yeah, I know it sounds dumb. To make a long story short, my supposed best friend was gone with another friend when I walked out of the school gate. They all had my stuff and said they would be there. I didn't want them to fight and made this many times clear. But they were just gone out of nowhere. The senior girls were with 7 or more outside. I've talked about this stuff a lot, and some people take it as I'm a misogynist when I'm not. When I just dealing with the realities of girls and women. This only happens with women. You already fought these people and now you got to fight them again? I've said this many times. 2 guys get into a fist fight. After the fight, it's over. Over is over. They walk the other way. Maybe they have a little respect for each other. A lot of times they become friends. 2 girls get into a fist fight. That's where the battle, the lifetime battle, begins. And it's a grander dynamic because your other supposed friends left you out to dry. Guys don't do that to each other. Friends don't leave somebody who's about to be in a fight, whether they're going to be in, whether you wanted them involved or not. This is a dynamic of how young girls have been socialized. And I'm going to go back again. A lot of this goes back to the baby boomers. Telling now what you're seeing today, there's no difference between boys and girls. You can be, gender neutral. Boys can do, and look what you got. You got these aggressive females now fighting like men, but worse than men. Because when men fight, that ends it after the physical altercation. With women, that begins it. So the fight began and I was all alone. I managed to defend myself. And at the end of the fight, I turned around and my friends were there watching. I went to them and I asked to my best friend where she went. She said that I went away and they couldn't find me. I learned later that two of them went to the principal saying what I was going to do. She lied about it, and when the truth came out, she blamed it on the other girl. We both cut contact with the other girl. The senior girl, but the other girl was there too. The senior girls dropped charges against me to the police, and in school I got a contract. The contract stated that if I ever get into trouble again in school, I would be expelled. I was forced to sign this, even though the fight didn't happen in school. The policeman later told me that this wasn't legal, and it's not. Thank God I was underage back then, so I didn't get a sentence. The bullying continued. A year later, the female principal was gone and replaced by a male. He handled things quickly and effectively, I guess because the bullying stopped. I made the mistake into not calling my friend out on her behavior. Don't get me wrong. I understand that she didn't want to be present there, but I don't understand why she went to the principal behind my back, lied about it, and blamed the other girl for it. Even though she went to her principal, the principal did not come outside to stop it or prevent it because, anonymous, many times these are girls who are just in it for themselves. So by your friend going to the principal to rat you out, what she was doing was, in a way, hoovering or primping for the girls you were going to fight, the senior girls. Girls like this, it's always the best option. Grass is always greener on the other side. They will turn your back on you in a heartbeat. Young girls like this, and women, a lot of times in general, are only out for themselves. Even though they say they're nurturing and they're about family and friends, this completely disproves it. Right up to the principal. Right up to the principal. It took a male principal coming in. I'm not saying all male principals are good and all female principals are bad, but she followed the exact same line. The principal went along to get along because she didn't want to stand up to the senior popular girls. And that happens repeatedly. It carries on long out of school. Girls fighting each other outside. This is a 20-year-old girl. When I was in school, two girls got into a fight. It was a big deal. It was a big deal. Now they're tearing each other up, 5 times a day. They fight worse and harder than any man I've ever fought. And I'm only talking to that professionally. Women I've stopped and fought. Worst fights I ever got in was with women. I acted as if I didn't understand what she did and never said it to anyone. I slowly backed away from her. Backed away from her when she confronted me on it. I said there was nothing wrong. I think she knew what I was doing. On our senior year, we had a group of friends. We were with 5. This year, however, we all took different paths. We all have cut contact with my so-called best friends. My so-called best friend. She started a fight by getting out of our messenger group when another girl invited us for her birthday. It was just a birthday invitation. It seems like to me that she was waiting to start a fight with us. Because what she's doing is she's always evaluating ranking and status within the group. So if somebody invites somebody to something that she didn't get in, then it's always good. You're always competing with girls like this. It never, ever stops. They can't function any other way. It's their only thought pattern. When the girl messaged her to ask what she had done wrong to her, she responded with, "I don't know you at all anymore." We started messaging her because this was crazy. She used sensitive info to a girl to piss her off and show that she had it way more better than her. Things like, "You have nobody. I have at least parents." They were all shocked by it. I was also shocked, even though I knew there was something evil in her. She always portrayed a nice, quiet girl and never stood up for herself in high school, always walking with her head down. I always defended her, and now I regret it. I missed a lot of opportunities because of her. I heard later stories about her that she was very jealous of us, and that's what I told you. That we had a new life and new friends while she still sat in high school. She has now a new best friend. I know it won't last though. She is extremely opportunistic and backstabbing. I never saw this. Right before we had a fight with her, I was once shopping in a store with my new friends and I saw her with a mutual friend of ours. We talked and I said we should hang out with us five again. The contact had been lesser for 2 months. She jumped right in saying it would be impossible to find the right date for us all. I understood what she really meant. After our fight, this mutual friend of ours who had also had a fallout with her said that after we met at the store, she almost cried because I was there with other friends. I was shocked. She was more crazy than I thought. She didn't cry because she missed me. If she really missed me, she would invite me to hang out. I think she cried out of pure jealousy. That's exactly why she cried. Because she doesn't have friendships. She just collects people who she calls friends. And any one of you can be discarded at any given time. And she sees herself as top of the pyramid. So any challenge to her top of the pyramid, she reacts with narcissistic rage. Now that I'm in college, I have a group of 11 friends. The problem is that there are definitely a couple of rotten apples in there who have a high risk at spoiling everything. A girl was recently caught lying for absolutely no reason. And even though the proof was there, someone in the group displayed it. She wasn't called out on it. Things continued as they were. Lying is like her second language. She also is a really nasty backstabber, but very flattering. She threw her so-called friend under the bus because it was her fault that their school task of the group wasn't finished. We went to the teacher and said what happened. Her friend is going to fail but she's not. We all did the work and their work. Meanwhile, she has still managed to be friends with this girl. I know that she put the blame on us, and yeah, the bitch managed to get away with doing nothing. The first day that I met her, she seemed really nice and caring. We immediately made an appointment to hang out at the club. When the day came, she flaked on me very badly. She found the better deal. Like I said, girls, like, you are not a friend. You are just a collection that she calls friends that can be discarded for a better deal at any time, because girls like this see themselves as top of the pyramid. And the problem is, in a groups like this, you have several women who are going to see themselves as the top of the pyramid and are constantly competing with each other, but will never call each other out. It's this passive aggressiveness of women that you are talking about. And the second you identify it, the second you see it in a group of female friends, you know that is the red flag, the indicator of the people you need to cut out, because this behavior never changes. It never ends. They are just going to get more and more passive aggressive until they have to get to the point where you're standing out in front of a school fist fighting into full-on aggression. It's the unspoken passive aggressiveness of the narcissistic woman. And it starts in school. And when you see it, and when you identify it, and then nobody will still call it out, you can't change those people. It's time to go. I can't be any clearer for you at this age, the age of 20, growing up in the environment that I know you grew up in, much different from what I grew up in, where these girls have become more and more aggressive and more violent and acting more and more like men physically, to couple with, listen, girls can be passive aggressive to begin with. You couple in this stuff, which has been going on in society, it becomes deadly. When you see this unspoken passive aggressiveness that's already been identified within a group of female friends, done, because you're not going to change it. The passive aggressiveness is only going to turn into full-on rage and full-on aggressiveness. There is no negotiating with that. You need to cut it off and find a group of girlfriends that are confident within themselves and aren't looking for a fucking pack leader. It's the pack leader mentality that drives the narcissism and the fighting within female friendship circles. She told me later that she really didn't like me when she met me. I was shocked because she was really nice to me and messaged me when the school hours of ours changed. I put her on my watch list because only a skilled manipulator is able to fake liking someone at this level. The second girl is very controlling. It always has to be her way. Every time that I drink Red Bull, she has to make snide comments of how nasty that drink is. When we as a group talk about certain topics, if she doesn't feel about, she tells to stop talking about it. And they do. Everybody seems to follow her. I feel like I am the only one who noticed things. You are. And they're not strong enough to call it out. And these passive aggressive fights are going to continue. And then you have the little cliques within the clique. This one's talking to this one. And you know what? None of these girls can be trusted because they're all stabbing each other in the back every chance they get because they all think they're the pack leader or trying to be the pack leader or trying to schmooze the pack leader. As far as you're concerned, you need to remove yourself from all of it because those friends are telling you that they're weak. They won't even stand up for themselves. So why would they ever stand up for you? Those aren't friends. Those are liabilities. I have a high chance of losing it with her if she keeps pressing my buttons. And of course, I will be the bad one. You'll always be the bad one, no matter what. So cut the relationship. She really has an issue with me. I can sense it. I fear she will make me into a sort of scapegoat and run a smear campaign against me. She's already started that, I guarantee you. She is always looking for little things to pick on. She always has to discuss everything and complain about everything that she doesn't like. If she doesn't like it, it must be bad, stupid, etc. Typical narcissist. I think both of them are narcs, but they are not the problem. The problem is that everyone believes them and nobody is calling them out on their bullshit. No contact is not a quick fix here. I want to expose them, but it has to be in a way that they don't know where it comes from. You're going to be blamed for, listen, you're talking about a wild hyena pack here. You're going to be blamed whether they can prove it comes for you or not. Okay? As sucky as this is and as difficult as it is, because unfortunately, you can't untake the red pill here. You can't untake the red pill in regards to narcissism. You can't do it. You can't. You already know what the truth is, so you are not going to be able to A, ignore it, and that's not what you want, or B, expose them because they just lie. They lie, and then they start rumors with each other, and then they know it's bullshit, but they don't have to say this is bullshit. They don't have to say, hey, what can we say? They just tell a fucking bullshit story that they know is bullshit, that all of them know is bullshit, and they all go along with it. They don't say, hey, what can we lie about here? They know as it's happening. Your best bet is not to try to expose them. You expose them by cutting them off because they're going to shit talk you anyway. And finding girls who are confident within themselves and aren't going to do this. A lot easier said than done. But if you continue to hang around these people, this is going to escalate and get worse. There's no exposing them. I don't want to end up in the same situation as high school. Listen, it doesn't matter if it's grade school, middle school, high school, college, or the workplace. This shit continues into retirement. Grandparent, like my whole channel is with grandparents and people on their deathbeds doing this exact same thing. You only defeat narcissism by removing yourself from it. And you don't have enough years in with these people. You're not old enough with dealing with these people for you to put that much time into exposing it. You're 20 years old, you're in college. Your future is ahead of you. Do not get caught up on some penniless ass bullshit for people you're never going to see after college anyway. This doesn't matter right now. What matters is you finishing school, getting your degree and whatever you want, and moving on with your life. These interpersonal relationships with a bunch of dumb college girls doesn't matter. But if you get caught up in trying to expose them now over this shit with this type of pack mentality, you are going to damage yourself in your future. And that might mean you being a little bit of a loner in your college years for a while. That's okay. Is there any way I can throw dirt on them and keep my hands clean? No, because even if you can keep your hands clean, they'll dirty them up anyway. I want to plant seeds in the mind of others, of seeing them as they are, so everybody drops them. This is a dangerous proposition you're playing, because you're playing the same game as the narcissist. Okay, that's female nature to start planting those seeds. You're doing the same thing they're doing. You have to be better than that. As tempting as it is, because a lot of times it works in a group, but you're not in a position to make it work. And even if you were, it would be wrong to do it anyway. Be an adult about it. Say, you know what? You're not the kind of people I really want to hang out with. You're going to put yourselves in danger. Not calling out these people. Like, you're going to let this person lie about you to your face, and I'm going to be friends with you. If you're not going to stick up for yourself, how would you ever stick up for me? How do I ever depend on you as a friend? You can't. And you can't change somebody of that at that point. If by 20 years old somebody doesn't know how to be a friend to somebody, they're never going to learn. You can't teach the narcissist things that they should have learned from their parents. I've had it with these people. Then have it with these people and cut them out. Don't worry about revenge. My biggest problem is they always prey on a scapegoat and get away with it. They only get away with it because you continue to hang around with them. If you make the decision to not hang out with them, they haven't gotten away with anything, because I'm denying you my company and I'm denying you my friendship. That's their consequence. They haven't gotten away with anything. I know that trouble will come if it continues like this, and for the future, are there any signs to look out for that they are narcs, so I don't get involved with them and waste zero time with them? Please give me some advice. Sorry this is so long. I hope that you will understand what I wrote. Thank you for everything. P.S. I'm also the only foreigner in the group. Okay. Which is another thing they could use against you. I basically gave you what you need to do here. Okay? You need to realize that these people you're calling friends aren't friends. They're acquaintances. And that's what a lot of girls do. A lot of women do. They don't make real friendships. They make acquaintances and then stab them in the back. So you need to cut these girls out of your life, because it's only going to get worse. And as far as trying to expose them, what's the point? You're only 20. You graduate and you never have to see them again anyway. Colleges are huge. There's plenty of people to try to make friends with. Stop investing all your eggs in the narcissist basket. Okay, because you have other options. So I hope that helps. Thank you for your contribution, and thank you for your story. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, or you'd like to set up a Skype chat or have a private video made, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. I'll have the video right back to you. This is Ollie Matthews. Thanks for watching. See you all again soon. Bye, everyone.